This morning, a Madison woman is dead and a man is facing his fourth OWI charge after a fatal crash last night.
And if your commute brings you on Verona Road, you're going to want to listen up. Big road closures, maybe the biggest of the summer, happening this week.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now this morning.
Good morning, folks, and thanks for joining us on your Monday on this August 5th. All three of us coming back from some camping trips when we all had lovely weather to deal with.
It was a little bit of rain Saturday night late, but not bad.
Not bad.
Just a nice weekend. And we've had quite a few nice weekends.
Right.
Been lucky. That weather will continue this week. We have warm temperatures to start the week, a little bit humid as well. But we are talking about the potential for some strong to severe thunderstorms a little bit later on today. So today is an alert day. I know it's been quiet. We haven't had any alert days in the forecast for quite some time, but there is the potential for strong to severe thunderstorms that could produce some strong or damaging winds later on today. So be aware of that threat. This morning, though, we're off to a great start. Sun is up, skies are mostly clear here. It's pretty mild and muggy still. 66 here in Madison and Janesville, 64 in the Dells, 68 this hour in Mineral Point. Dew points are high in the 60s as well, so it's going to be a warm and humid day with highs in the middle 80s. Again, best chance for rain for all of southern Wisconsin will be after 4 p.m. this afternoon. Let's get a look at those traffic maps this morning. We'll show you what's happening on the area roads. Just a little bit of activity showing up around Stoughton Road and the Beltline, getting a little busier there. No other major routes. Still a lot of construction icons on the map, so be aware of all of those zones. Otherwise, in and around Dane County, no other accidents to report.
A nice quiet start to the week then. Hopefully nothing too bad later today with that severe weather though.
No, we'll be watching it later today.
All right, Hads, thank you.
You're welcome.
We are going on year 7 now in the Verona Road project here on Madison's west side.
The end of the project is near, but not before some major road closures. Our Keely Arthur is live to share what you need to know for your drive this week. Hi, Keely.
Hi, Josh and Leah. Yes, these road closures are starting tonight from 7 p.m. through Friday morning from 6 a.m. So from Monday till Friday, 7 p.m. till 6 a.m., there's going to be a major road closure, and that is happening at the intersection of Verona Road and PD. That's the intersection just behind me. Now, these closures are happening so crews can do some major bridge work, and the DOT officials say in terms of drive times impacting drivers, road closures, slowing things down, this is going to be the biggest road closure we're going to see for this project this summer. Now, this is also crews can set girders over the bridge, and no through movements or left turns will be permitted at the Verona Road and County PD intersections while these closures are taking place.
Yes, it is a major headache right now for the commuters in the area, but once the project is completed, this gateway into Madison from the southwest traffic will flow through here awesome, and we're just looking forward to having it all wrapped up.
And these road closures, these construction projects happening for good reason. DOT officials say this is going to cut down on drive times once this project is completed, and it's also going to make this area much safer. It was actually prone to a lot of crashes prior to construction beginning. Now, all of this should wrap up at the end of fall of 2020, but the main big things that are going to impact drivers will be done by the fall of this year. That means there's going to be 3 lanes opened up on each side. As Leah mentioned, this project has been going on for 7 years, so we are getting very close to the end, and that is very exciting news.
Yeah, I think many people are looking forward to that end. Keely Arthur live on Madison's west side this morning. Keely, thank you.
We have some breaking news overnight into the Channel 3000 Alert Center. Police say a woman is dead and a man is facing his 4th OWI charge after a crash in Evansville last night. It happened just after 8 along Highway 213 at the intersection of 59. Police say Daniel Good didn't stop at a stop sign there and hit another car. That car was being driven by a 59-year-old Madison woman who was pronounced dead at the scene. A passenger in her vehicle is also injured. Along with his fourth OWI, Good is facing charges of homicide by intoxicated use of a motor vehicle. Highway 213 had to be closed for 5 hours overnight because of that crash.
This morning, we are hearing from the wife of one of the two Wisconsin brothers missing in Missouri. Lisa Demo told the Kansas City Star that her husband and brother-in-law's disappearance is a nightmare, one that she'll live for the rest of her life. Her husband, 35-year-old Nicholas Demo, and his 24-year-old brother Justin were reported missing last month. The search for the brothers is being considered a death investigation. A man is in jail without bail this morning on charges of tampering with a rental truck the brothers used during their trip. Garland Nelson is accused of driving the truck from a farm that the brothers had visited during a business trip for their cattle operation in Wisconsin.
More local news now. Madison police are looking for a man they say robbed a pizza delivery driver at gunpoint this weekend. It happened just after midnight Sunday morning along North Broome Street downtown. That suspect was with a group of 6 other people when he reportedly held the Domino's driver at gunpoint. The group ran off and the driver was not hurt. Anyone with information should call Madison police or the Madison area Crime Stoppers.
Right now, a Lyft driver is accused of sexually assaulting a passenger in Madison. Jeremy Foley was arrested Friday for second-degree sexual assault of a person under the influence. A woman told Madison police that she had been out drinking and used the rideshare service to get home safely. She says Foley stopped short of her address, locked the doors, and told her to perform a sex act on him. The woman told officers she felt as if she had no choice and called police after she was dropped off at home. There
is an environmental impact statement out this morning talking about a potential noise increase if the U.S. Air Force decides to house F-35 jets at Truex Field. One of the points of interest identified is Bashford United Methodist Church. Pastor Amanda Stein says the current F-16 jets do not interrupt their worship, but they do hear other types of planes. Stein says she can't predict whether the F-35 jets will be worse, but she does recognize the community's split opinion on the topic and hopes she can help with the conversation.
It's really difficult to say that there's one voice, and as the clergy person, I simply want to be able to hear those and try and mitigate or find conversation or compromise where we can.
Church members living nearby say the jet noise is more bothersome at home. The environmental impact statement outlines how noise levels could affect things like classroom speech and sleep disturbance. We have a link to that statement up right now over on channel3000.com.
6:07 this morning, national statistics show farmers have the highest rate of suicide of any occupation, and there's actually a task force at the state capitol devoted to suicide prevention. Right now, it's looking at the need for community-based sustainable programs to help farmers through this difficult time. At the Wisconsin State Fair, you'll find products like cheese curds and milk, but farmers producing these products say they're struggling to pay their bills, especially since they're getting less for milk than they did once ago.
They come depressed. They get up every morning and at 5 o'clock or 4:30, go to the barn and milk them cows and everything, and then their milk check comes and it just don't amount to nothing.
Now, Governor Tony Evers says it's unfortunate the state's budget committee rejected $100,000 in funding for farmer mental health assistance that was provided in his 2-year spending plan. Department of Consumer Protection Secretary Designee Brad Pfaff says the department has the money to provide just 5 more counseling vouchers to farmers in need of mental health care.
There are now 11 hospitalizations linked to vaping here in Wisconsin. State health officials say the teens and young adults have lung damage that's been linked to vaping, and 7 other cases are still under investigation. The American Lung Society worries that these cases are not isolated.
We have to wonder if that's just the tip of the iceberg. If this hasn't been going on for quite some time and we just haven't realized that it's actually being caused by vaping.
The organization says it's still a common misconception that e-cigarettes are safe. State law says no one under 18 is allowed to have addictive nicotine products, and that does include e-cigarettes.
Researchers are trying to figure out what's causing contamination in private wells across Wisconsin this morning. Samples were collected in April from 35 random private wells previously determined to have high levels of coliform bacteria or high nitrates. This week, homeowners learned that 32 of those wells, or 91%, had fecal contamination from either humans or livestock. These wells are in Grant, Iowa, and Lafayette counties. Researchers emphasize that this doesn't mean there's a region-wide contamination since the sampling came from wells already known to be contaminated. However, the study hopes to show what is causing it and how to prevent more contamination in the future.
Here in Madison, Senator Tammy Baldwin is looking to keep the water in our lakes clean as well. She's one of 5 lawmakers introducing a bipartisan bill to increase funding for the Great Lakes Restoration Initiative. WPR reports that the GRLI was founded back in 2010 as a way to use federal dollars for cleanup efforts around the Great Lakes. Within its first year, though, the project saw a near $200 million funding drop. This new bill would increase spending by right around $75 million. Trending now, the Wisconsin State Fair is in full swing, and one of this year's competitions has a new champion.
The Wisconsin Valley Fair eating competition took place over the weekend, and a 15-year-old is the new food competition winner.
We ate pulled pork, a cream puff, and an elephant ear. Yep, and I don't know, I just did it. I don't know, I was pretty hungry. The lady next to me said she was ranking 1 last year for the last 2 years, so she thought that was pretty cool that I beat her.
Lee, I'm surprised I don't see your face in there.
You know, this is my kind of competition, Josh. You know it.
I know it. People of all ages and from all over came to participate, and there wasn't a fee or registration needed to compete. All you needed was a hungry stomach. Can't believe we weren't there. Participants were split into groups based on age, and anyone could watch for free.
This is why the Wisconsin State Fair is the best, by the way.
It really is. Speaking of champions, the 2019 CrossFit Games may be over, but one man is continuing to break records as the fittest on earth. Matt Frazier won his 4th consecutive championship yesterday, winning 6 events over the 4-day competition. That's the most of any individual athlete ever in a single CrossFit game. Tia Claire Toomey dominated the women's field and became the first woman to claim 3 consecutive titles in CrossFit Games history.
Congrats to them.
That was another fun week.
It was. 6:11 your time now. Lawmakers and the rest of the country are responding this morning after a deadly mass shooting, 2 of them this weekend. We will share the latest coming up after the break.
But first, a live look outside this morning. After a few quiet days of weather, Hattie's talking the return of some severe weather chances today. You're watching News 3 Now this morning. We thank you for that, and we will be right back.
Good morning from the News 3 Now First Alert Weather Center. We did have some persistent showers and isolated thunderstorms yesterday. Our 24-hour precipitation amounts indicating that there were some locally heavy areas of rain yesterday, but those storms finally diminished and we wake to quiet conditions here across southern Wisconsin this morning. Not done with the threat for rain though. There is a cold front that will be moving through the area. You can see some pretty widespread shower and thunderstorm activity moving through northern Minnesota. A few showers and thunderstorms trying to develop across southeastern Minnesota and now west central Wisconsin. There is a risk for severe storms across the region today. Here's the severe weather outlook issued by the Storm Prediction Center. It paints a slight risk for severe weather for southern Wisconsin with an enhanced risk from Eau Claire down through southern Minnesota, much of Iowa into Nebraska today. Again, best chances for severe weather, the highest likelihood will be north and west of Madison. So for that reason, there's an alert day in the forecast. We haven't had one of these for a while, but today there is a risk for strong to damaging winds with those storms as they move through. Timing on it is going to be very late this afternoon, but more likely into the evening hours. Now here's a look at your probability of precipitation. If you have outdoor plans today, you should be just fine, most likely by about 4 o'clock. After 4, that's when those showers and thunderstorms start to move into areas north and west of Madison and then continue to track eastward through the evening. A live look outside this morning, though, we have a beautiful sunrise underway this morning. Skies are clear. No issues with fog here in Madison, but visibility is down to about a half a mile in Juneau. Across the area this morning, we've had some patchy fog. Generally doesn't last too long. Sun is going to take care of that fog pretty quickly today. Here's a look at your temperature readings. 66 here in Madison and Janesville. 65 in Watertown, 68 in Mineral Point this morning. It's a pretty mild start to the day because dew points are rather high. Temperature can't drop below that dew point, and we have dew points in the mid to upper 60s all day today, so it's going to feel humid. Take a look at your future track forecast model if you want to time out these rain chances. Dry and sunny through the morning. A rapid warm up by lunchtime today. We're already in the mid 80s across southern Wisconsin. Here's 4 o'clock, likely when we'll see the hottest conditions, temperatures in the mid 80s in most spots. That line of showers and thunderstorms just starting to work its way into our northwestern viewing area after 4. It continues to work its way through southern Wisconsin, hitting the Madison area between 6 and 8 this evening. But there are some indications that that line will be weakening as it tracks to the south and east. So here's a look at your extended forecast then. As we go through the day today, look for a high of 86 degrees. It is an alert day for southern Wisconsin. We'll stay pretty humid through the first part of this week, but by the end of the week, we're looking at highs in the upper 70s, lower humidity, and lots of sunshine. Now it's time to get a look at those first alert traffic maps this morning. We'll send it over to Josh Tim for all the details. Good morning, Josh.
Yeah, good morning. Nothing to slow you down so far on the Beltline. Things are moving well, heading east and westbound with no major delays. Other roads here in Dane County aren't looking too bad right now. A few of the usual brake lights on Verona Road approaching the Highway PD intersection. And remember, there is some fog hanging around. Just make sure you have those lights on when you head out the door. No delays downtown around campus. Volume won't be an issue at least for another hour or so. And other main routes, including the interstate, they're moving along at the posted speeds with no crashes or delays. Your first alert traffic, I'm Josh Tim.
Thank you very much, Josh, and thank you, Hattie. The president is expected to speak today after multiple mass shootings over the weekend.
In all, 29 people are dead and more than 50 injured in shootings in El Paso, Texas and Dayton, Ohio.
Nicholas B. Coomer.
Nicholas B. Coomer.
Thomas J. McNichols.
Thomas J. McNichols.
The weekend's first attack is being investigated as a hate crime and domestic terrorism. 21-year-old Patrick Crusius is believed to have driven 10 hours from his home near Dallas to kill in El Paso, which is more than 80% Hispanic. Officials have referenced a document written by Crusius who denounces the increasing Hispanic population of Texas and gives that as the reason for his actions. It is the deadliest shooting of the year with 20 killed and 26 wounded.
And I miss her so much. And I'd give my life and trade for hers. She had 3 babies she needed to raise. Any day I'd give my life just to have her back.
Hard to hear there. Hours later, a gunman wearing body armor opened fire in a nightlife district in Dayton, Ohio. 24-year-old Connor Betts killed 9 people and injured 27 others in just 30 seconds. Betts was wearing a mask and a bulletproof vest armed with an assault rifle. One of the 9 victims was his own sister. Betts was killed by police. Officials say he had a clean record and that this is not being investigated as a hate crime. A former classmate of Betts says he was once suspended for compiling a list of female classmates he wanted to kill or sexually assault. Police had previously said there was no information in his background that could have prevented him from purchasing a rifle. For many, these massacres are a reminder that events like these can happen anywhere to anyone.
We was watching, as a matter of fact, we was watching the national news, and we seen where there was a shooting in, I want to say Texas or whatever. And it's just like, wow, it was sad. And then for it to hit home, and everybody always say, you don't ever think that it'll happen here. And it happens all over the place. There's no place exempt from it.
2019 is currently on pace to be the first year since 2016 with an average of more than 1 mass shooting a day. As of yesterday, the 216th day of the year, there were 251 mass shootings in the U.S., according to a nonprofit gun violence archive. A mass shooting is any incident where at least 4 people are shot, not including the shooter.
Here in Wisconsin, Senator Tammy Baldwin says the failure of Washington to act is a moral failure. Congressman Mark Pocan says the House has already passed a bill on background checks, and he now wants the Senate to take it up. Republican Congressman Sean Duffy says there is no place in this country for that kind of violence, and that his heart goes out to the victims' families. All right, 6:21 your time now on this Monday. Countless parents struggle to find childcare, let alone affordable options here in Wisconsin. So we're sharing the latest research and what a local mom has to say about the problem.
And Hattie's got your out-the-door forecast, which includes a chance for severe weather later today, something we haven't had for a little while. Stick around for her update when News 3 Now This Morning returns in a moment.
It's Welcome back on your Monday morning. We're taking a live look at just a beautiful sunrise out there. Wow.
It is nice, clear skies. It's a mild and kind of muggy start to the day. There is a chance for severe weather as well. So let's get you all the details. Today is an alert day for southern Wisconsin. Great start though in Platteville. Here's the view from our Queen Bee Radio Skycam. Take a look at the alert day details. The main threats will be strong winds and the timing on it is later today. So if you have plans this morning or even early this afternoon, the weather is not likely to impact those plans. Probability of precipitation starts to ramp up after 4 o'clock today, and for us here in Madison, real late this evening. Now, here's a look at our current temperature readings. Still in the 60s across southern Wisconsin, 66 from Janesville up to Madison, Mineral Point, and Prairie du Chien, some of the warmer spots this morning with temperatures still in the upper 60s. Temps through the day will warm quickly, already into the 80s by lunchtime, topping right around 86 degrees. Again, after 4, probably between 6 and 8 here in Madison is when we can expect to see some showers and thunderstorms roll through the area. And that's your first alert forecast.
All right, thank you very much, Hattie. New information now for maybe your parents or grandparents this morning. Doctors say that strength training and protein supplements may prevent or delay frailty. There's a new study out that describes frailty as a medical condition, not just an inevitable result of aging. Researchers in Australia found patients over 60 with symptoms like low energy, weak grip, slow walking, or unexplained weight loss were likely to be diagnosed as frail. But strength training and supplements could help prevent those symptoms. And staying social could also help your health as you get older. Researchers at the University of London found that being more socially active in your 50s and 60s could mean a lower dementia risk later on in life.
Searching for childcare is one of the biggest burdens on a new parent, but paying for it puts many families over the edge financially. Jessica Bowden and her husband know firsthand how difficult it is to find childcare in the Madison area. But finding a place for their little Milo was just the start. It took them over a year on the wait list before they finally got him into an in-home childcare center. But the stress was certainly high as they looked at hundreds of dollars a week it takes for high-quality care. Yes, even more than what it costs to go to college.
There were certainly some programs that I really wanted to get him into, but just looking at the cost of it, I didn't really know how we could swing that.
Now, according to local experts, Madison has a reputation for having high-quality childcare, which is a bonus, but the cost of childcare keeps rising while the need for more licensed childcare providers grows. Tonight, only on News 3 Now at 10, I'll show you how to afford childcare in the Madison area, and something really anybody can learn, whether you've got kids or not. This is a crisis that we've got going on in the community, according to experts.
Definitely very relatable. I know we hear from parents all of the time on the cost of childcare, and then just finding childcare in the first place. Very difficult.
Yeah, you'll want to stay tuned to that forecast, or not forecast, the story tonight at 10, and then we'll have more on it tomorrow morning as well.
Looking forward to that.
All right, still ahead for us this morning, we've got the top 3 things that you need to know to start your Monday.
And we are checking back in with our Keely Arthur to get the latest on road closures caused by more construction on Verona Road, and quite possibly the biggest project yet starting tonight. Thanks for watching News 3 Now this morning.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now this morning.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for staying with us on this Monday, August 5th. And after a few quiet days, we've got severe weather back in the forecast, Hattie.
Yeah, we do. Today's an alert day. There's a potential for storms with strong winds later today.
We will check in on Hattie's alert day forecast coming up in just a second. But first, let's start with the top 3 things you should know on this Monday morning. Police say a woman is dead and a man is facing his 4th OWI charge after a crash in Evansville last night. Officers say Danielle Good didn't stop at a stop sign on Highway 59, then hit a car going northbound on Highway 213. That car was driven by a 59-year-old Madison woman who was pronounced dead at the scene.
Over the weekend, 2 deadly mass shootings, and the president is now expected to speak today following those over the weekend. The first happened at a Walmart in El Paso, Texas, Saturday. Authorities are investigating that attack as an act of domestic terrorism and a possible hate crime. 13 hours later, a 24-year-old opened fire on the streets of Dayton, Ohio, in the city's popular entertainment district. Authorities there say the shooting lasted about 30 seconds until they killed the heavily armed gunman.
Meanwhile, Walmart reportedly says it has no plans to stop selling guns or ammunition after the mass shooting in El Paso. In an interview published on Bloomberg, a Walmart spokesperson says the retailer already goes beyond federal law when it comes to background checks for weapons purchases.
Those are your top 3 things to know this morning. And now Hattie's here now with your weather and traffic update. Hi, Hats.
Good morning, Josh and Leah. Today is an alert day for southern Wisconsin. You should be aware of that. The main threat, as I mentioned earlier, is strong winds. Timing on this is going to be pretty late today, so most of the day will be dry. We're not likely to see that rain until the evening for most of the area. Now here's a look at your severe weather outlook. There is an enhanced risk for severe weather across a pretty large area today, from Minneapolis down to La Crosse, Eau Claire and Toma included in that. It's a slight risk for severe weather for the rest of southern Wisconsin. As you head out the door this morning, though, nothing but sunshine to greet you. Temperatures are in the 60s. We'll climb to highs in the mid 80s later on. It's still going to stay pretty humid today with dew points remaining in the mid to upper 60s. Your first alert traffic maps early this morning. It is starting to get a little busier on the westbound side of the Beltline. We're starting to see some slowdowns in between Seminole Highway and Verona Road this morning. Also a little slow inbound on the west side of downtown as well. Look at your drive times and speeds. Still going at posted speeds though as you head in from the surrounding communities. And that's your first alert traffic.
All right, thank you very much, Hattie. Construction crews along Verona Road are taking on one of their biggest projects yet today.
And it's likely going to impact your commute on the west side. Keely Arthur joins us live from that site with all the details. Hi, Keely.
Hi, Josh and Leah. Yeah, it seems like change is really the only constant here at Verona Road at this point. We are seeing lots of traffic closures and lane changes as a result of the construction happening here this summer. But even the most seasoned drivers who are used to these changes might be thrown for a loop this week. That's because the intersection behind me at PD and Verona Road is going to shut down. That's starting tonight. On Monday at 7 p.m. crews are going to be working at the Verona Bridge over PD. DOT officials say this is one of their biggest closures of the summer in terms of Verona Road because PD is such a heavily trafficked intersection. Now, no through movements or left turns will be permitted at the Verona Road and County PD intersection during these closures. This is so crews can set girders over the bridge.
For the commuters that use PD in that intersection, it'll be a major. They're going to want to seek alternate routes because there will be detour. They have to work around the signals, come up and work their way through the neighborhood possibly. So they've got to provide more time and seek alternate routes.
Now, businesses in other areas will remain open, but these closures happening Monday starting at 7 p.m. until 6 a.m. Monday through into that Friday morning commute. So you're going to want to pay attention. Give yourself some extra time. The DOT says there is good reason for all of this. Once the Verona Road project is completed in fall of 2020, we're going to see quicker drive times and hopefully a reduction in traffic accidents. One of the main reasons why the DOT decided to tackle this project in the first place.
7 years later, hopefully it's going to be all worth it. Keely Arthur reporting for us. Thank you, Keely.
And still ahead for us on a Monday morning, we're talking camping and the great outdoors, also Wisconsin sports.
Yeah, not the best news on the ladder, though, after a beating from the Cubs this weekend. More from the Brew Crew, plus a look ahead to the Packers. That's when News 3 Now This Morning returns.
All right, welcome back at 6:39. So normally this is the time that we let you share your morning with us, but we have mornings to share of ourselves. Yes, I went camping this weekend, folks. Yeah. Aren't you proud? I did it.
So proud of you.
I did it.
Beautiful picture.
It was beautiful. So we went up to Eau Gray, Michigan, and that's on Lake Huron. So I went camping. You can see my friends Tyler and Ben and their family right there. They kind of took me in for the weekend, and it was a fantastic time. We did camping, we went tubing down a river.
The views.
We really,
I mean, wow.
We roughed it.
I mean,
like it
Josh, he had an air mattress. You were okay.
Oh, whatever. I was really excited to come home to my king bed last night. We'll just say that.
I bet you were. Okay, so here's my photo. I had so much fun. I actually never took any pictures of myself. I just took like lovely photos of the Wolf River. This is outside of Wausau, kind of up in the Fox Valley area, in between those areas. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous views up there. We did a little bit of rafting, and we obviously camped. I have a bit of a sad story, though. My boyfriend lost his phone overnight, and we woke up in the morning and found it just completely torched in the campfire.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, so he was not very happy, but the views.
The views were great.
So you really don't have any pictures from
yeah, we lost quite a
in
few.
the fire. Well, here's mine. We were a little closer. We were at Governor Dodge this weekend.
My neck of the woods.
Yeah, we didn't do any rafting, but we hiked a lot, took in the cave tour, or the cave trail. We also hiked to Stevens Falls. Beautiful weather, beautiful conditions.
Josh and I were talking this morning. You just have the most lovely family.
I know.
Oh, thanks. They were good. My kids love to hike, so we took advantage of that.
And this is a little teaser before your big trip next week.
Right.
Yeah, we are leaving for 2 weeks. We are going to Yellowstone, so we're going to be really roughing it. No electricity for 2 weeks.
That's going to be so fun, though.
Yeah.
I got enough camping for a while.
Josh
so.
is done.
I tried it, though. Just be proud of me.
We are proud. That's a big deal.
All right. Well, if you have your morning you'd like to share with us, all you have to do is post it on our Channel 3000 social media pages and use the hashtag MyNews3Morning. We love seeing those photos.
Extra points if they're camping photos.
There you go.
All right, so to your sports report this morning, the Brewers are falling behind in the race for the NL Central after they were swept by the Cubs this weekend. The Crew, the Cubs, and the Cardinals have all been battling for the title, and the Cubs came out on top. In the first, Christian Yelich hits a home run, his 37th this season. But the Cubs' Jason Hayward had a big day as well, hitting a home run to center in the first, then hitting a triple the very next inning. In the bottom of the fifth, Kyle Schwarber makes it 4-1 with a solo shot to right, and the Cubs win 7-2. They're now leading the Brewers by 4 games in the NL Central.
There's a former Badger who's coming home in a couple of days. The Packers are holding joint practices with J.J. Watt and the Houston Texans today and tomorrow ahead of the preseason game later this week. Not only will fans get to see Watt in person, but Texans players will also be taking part in the training camp tradition of riding local kids' bikes to practice. Kids should be in line with their bikes by 9:15, and practice number 1 gets underway at 10:15. It is scheduled for 2 hours and 15 minutes.
All right, 6:42 your time now. Still ahead, Hattie has an updated look at that extended forecast, including an alert day and a little bit of humidity to start off your work week.
Yeah, the polar bears are probably going to be in that pool, I would imagine.
Oh, yeah, with all that humidity, you better believe it.
But first, it is August 5th, and we want to say happy birthday to all of the kids turning 3 today. Thanks for watching, and thanks for celebrating with us so early here on News 3 Now this morning.
Good morning from the News 3 Now First Alert Weather Center. Behind me, you're looking at Platteville this morning. A little bit of cloud cover now moving into the area, but a nice start to the day. Temperatures are quite mild. It is an alert day, though, for southern Wisconsin. The timing on the threat for severe weather is later on, so most of the day will actually be dry. Late this afternoon into this evening, that's when we see that chance for rain and strong thunderstorms. The main threat will be strong winds. Here's a look at the severe weather outlook that has been issued by the Storm Prediction Center. It is indicating an enhanced risk for severe weather, kind of a large area that enhanced risk covers north and west of Madison. A slight risk, though, for the rest of southern Wisconsin. Here's a look at your future track forecast model. Again, timing on this event will be later today. Here's 4 p.m. with high temperatures in the middle 80s, southwest winds. That line of showers and thunderstorms pushes through the area. It likely is going to be weakening, though, as it moves to the south and east. So here's a look at total precipitation from that event. Not a whole lot here in Madison, but higher amounts to the north and west. That's where you have a better chance for those stronger storms. Here's a look at your weather track forecast model, and again, a cold front is going to be the source for that severe weather potential today. It will move south and east through the area. Out ahead of that front, it's pretty humid in southern Wisconsin. Take a look at our dew point trends. We're looking at dew points again starting in the mid 60s this morning, climbing into the upper 60s through the afternoon. So we're not going to lose the humidity at all. Temperatures early today are starting off in the 60s, 66 here in Madison. It's actually already 70 in Monroe, 68 in Mineral Point. So here's a look at that future track forecast model once again. Temperatures will warm quickly today. Southwesterly winds bringing in a little bit of cloud cover as we head towards the afternoon, but staying dry through 4 p.m. for southern Wisconsin. After that, showers and thunderstorms working their way through the area. They again will likely weaken as they head towards southeastern Wisconsin. So the best chance for stronger storms will be north and west of Madison. Here's a look at your extended forecast then. We have temperatures that will stay in the 80s Tuesday and Wednesday. There'll be another chance for rain on Wednesday, but after that, we're going to lose the humidity and turn much more comfortable with highs in the upper 70s. Here's our pet walk forecast. This is Lily in Madison.
Oh.
Not a bad day for a walk. Maybe a little warm for her today, 86. So make sure she's got lots of water.
What a cutie.
Love it.
She's ready to go.
Thank you very much, Addie.
You're welcome.
Stay with us for the morning sprint up next.
At
6:51, time for the morning sprint as our team gives you more local news than anyone else to start your day.
We begin with Keely Arthur, who's updating us on a major construction project along Verona Road this morning. Keely?
Anyone who drives at Verona Road will want to listen up. That's because we're going to see major road closures at the intersection behind me at PD and Verona Road. That is starting tonight, Monday night, from 7 p.m. until 6 a.m. and that is going to finish up Friday. DOT officials say in terms of road closures, this may be the biggest one of the summer at Verona Road. That's because PD and Verona's intersection is so heavily trafficked. Now, this is also crews can place girders over the bridges here, and this is all going to wrap up fall of 2020.
Thank you very much, Keely. Breaking overnight into the Channel 3000 Alert Center. Police say a woman is dead and a man is facing his 4th OWI charge after a crash in Evansville last night. Daniel Good did not stop at the stop sign on Highway 59, and police say he hit a car going northbound on Highway 213. That vehicle was driven by a 59-year-old Madison woman who was pronounced dead at the scene.
A Lyft driver is accused of sexually assaulting a passenger in Madison. Jeremy Foley, who you see right here, was arrested Friday for second-degree sexual assault of a person under the influence. A woman told police that she had been out drinking and used the rideshare service to get home. She says Foley stopped short of her address, locked the doors, and told her to perform a sex act on him. The woman told officers she felt as if she had no choice and called police after she was dropped off at home.
Madison police are looking for a man they say robbed a pizza delivery driver at gunpoint Sunday morning. Just after midnight, the suspect was with 6 people when he reportedly held the Domino's driver up at gunpoint. The driver was not injured. Anyone with information is asked to call the Madison Police Department or the Madison Area Crime Stoppers.
There are now 11 hospitalizations linked to vaping in Wisconsin. State health officials say the teens and young adults have lung damage linked to vaping, and 7 other cases are under investigation. The American Lung Cancer Society says that these cases aren't isolated. The organization says it's still a common misconception that e-cigarettes are safe.
And today is an alert day for southern Wisconsin. Late this afternoon into the evening hours, expect some showers and thunderstorms to move through southern Wisconsin. They may contain some strong winds. Here's a look at that severe weather outlook. Again, a slight risk for severe weather across most of southern Wisconsin. It's an enhanced risk to the north and west. Timing on this incident will be later today. Dry through the daytime hours after 4 p.m. That's where our chances for rain start to increase.
Thank you very much, Hattie. The president is tweeting this morning on the need for background checks and immigration reform after a pair of mass shootings over the weekend. 20 people were killed and 26 injured inside a Walmart in El Paso, Texas. Deputies say the shooter wrote a document that denounces the increasing Hispanic population of Texas. This shooting marks the deadliest of the year.
Hours later, a gunman wearing body armor opened fire in a nightlife district in Ohio. 24-year-old Connor Betts killed 9 people and injured 27 others in just 30 seconds. Betts was wearing a mask and a bulletproof vest, armed with an assault rifle. One of the 9 victims was his own sister. Betts was killed by police.
People are waking up this morning to more vigils across the country, comments from politicians, and some pretty shocking statistics. 351 mass shootings have taken place so far this year. 979 people have been shot. 246 have died. That breaks down to an average of 1.2 mass shootings a day.
Walmart reportedly says it has no plans to stop selling guns or ammunition after the mass shootings in El Paso. In a published interview with Bloomberg, a Walmart spokesman says the retailer goes beyond federal law and background checks for weapons purchases.
The Brewers are falling behind in the race for the NL Central after they were swept by the Cubs this weekend. In the first inning, Christian Yelich was able to hit a home run, his 37th this season, but the Cubs' Jason Hayward had a pretty big day, hitting a homer to center in the first, then hitting a triple the very next inning. In the end, Cubs win 7-2. They're leading the NL Central now by 4 games.
The Packers are holding joint practices with J.J. Watt and the Houston Texans today and tomorrow, ahead of the preseason game later this week. Fans will get to see Watt in person, and Texans players will also be taking part in that training camp tradition of riding local kids' bikes to practice. Kids should be in line with their bikes by 9:15. That practice gets underway at 10:15.
Wide receiver Jordy Nelson will retire as a Green Bay Packer. Nelson was chosen by the Packers in the 2008 NFL Draft. He played in 136 regular season games and had 88 starts, and he's the only Packers player ever to have 3 seasons with 13-plus touchdown receptions. Nelson will sign a one-day contract in Green Bay, effectively making his last team the Packers.
Coming up on 6:57, let's get another check of your traffic with Josh Tim. Hi, Josh.
Morning, guys. Already picking up on the westbound side of the Beltline. Some brake lights between Stoughton Road and Monona Drive, and then again between Park Street and Todd Drive. Inbound side of John Nolan, you're tapping the brakes at Rimrock and Olin Avenue, but really nothing that'll delay you more than an extra minute. Verona Road getting busier in both directions between Highway PD and the Beltline ramps. And other main routes, including the interstate, still moving along at the usual speeds. Your first alert traffic, I'm Josh Tim.
Thanks, Josh.
Beautiful start to this Monday. Here's the view from the Edgewater Skycam looking out over Lake Mendota and downtown Madison. Just a few clouds in the area right now. Temperatures are starting in the mid-60s. We'll climb to highs in the mid-80s this afternoon. Again, the morning will be dry, and most of the afternoon there is a chance for some showers and thunderstorms to move through here, likely this evening.
All right, we know you'll be watching that, Hattie. Thank you.
And thank you for joining us this morning. Enjoy the rest of your Monday. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning. See you, folks.